Perfect. Hi, Emily. So the first question is, Court Square in Long Island City has seen significant residential development with thousands of new residents. Although the city has tried to balance the unplanned development of Court Square by promising the Queens Public Library to reopen the closed library branch and budgeting money for a new elementary school, there really hasn't been any progress or updates from the Queens Public Library or SCA on the new school or library. As the council member that would represent the neighborhood, what steps can we do to prevent these scenarios from occurring in the future? And now that we're in the current situation, what can we do to ensure the city actually delivers its promise for the new school and the library?
Okay, great question. Yes, so firstly, what I would say, I want to start breaking away from the public-private model, which has us relying on developers to give us all of the needs that we need. The schools and the libraries and the public spaces and the green spaces. So I would like to start moving away from that model. It's only as good as, if it works for the developer, then it's good. But then if it usually does, ends up not working. For instance, there is a Spaceworks building in Sunnyside by the YMCA. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but after a lot of the artists were displaced, the de Blasio administration said, we'll work with this group of business people and we'll have these spaces and people can go in there and they pay, $5-10 for an hour, or you can be there all day and you can have your band play there and practice, and you can dance studio, all these great things. And when I would go to the YMCA, I would hear bands playing and it was amazing, it was so great, but it only lasted for like a year. This is before coronavirus. And then it was gone. And I was like, what happened to that Spaceworks? So I looked online and I did a lot of research and I was like, oh, they basically said, the developer said, or not the developer, sorry, the business people who were running it said, it's just not financially feasible for us anymore. Sorry, so I want to break away from that. I feel like we as a city and a state, really, we can do all this work on our own. We can bring in the tax revenue rather than give 25-year tax holiday for the developers. We can just, say, okay, we'll take the tax dollars and we don't need you to build the libraries for us. We don't, because we're going to do it ourselves. We, we trust ourselves to do it. And actually that could create a lot of jobs too, to have that and for the government to do that. But so that's one thing I would do. For the particular area, I would say I would probably leverage future developments for those developers. So let's say, the 5 Points. Let's see, who was the developer? That's I forget his name.
Walkoff.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Don't know how I would have forgotten that, but yes. So maybe future development of the city, we could say, you can't give that extra bonus, the FAR, without giving this the library and this and that. But I would like to, again, take it over. I don't really want them to be doing that, but since they did promise certain things, that they should have to follow up on that. So, and I would like to do an accounting of all the things that were promised. There are some things in Astoria, some movie studios like Astoria Kaufman, they promised some things over there. Let's see, like internship for workers and some programs with the kids, and they didn't follow through. So we just have to make sure they follow through. And I would say that you can't do these other projects that are in the that you want without bringing these things first. And then again, like I said, though, I think we should be taken over anyway. So that's what I would do. And yeah.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The second question is, District 26 is made up of diverse neighborhoods that are pretty segregated today. Today, families in one neighborhood could live, eat, work, and send their kids to a different school than other families in the district. Since these communities don't intersect often, you end up with perspectives with one neighborhood describing LIC kind of filled with ghost towers, but then the other perspective talks about LIC as too overcrowded with the lack of school seats and public green space. As the elected official representing the overall district, how do you reconcile these perspectives in different communities to ensure better connectivity, but just also better representation for the district?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's interesting because I was just thinking the same thing. That over the weekend, I went door knocking in the district is it's very large. You know, we have, like you just said, we have the waterfront, wealthier tenants, people, but then residents, and then you go up to, we almost go to Jackson Heights, and there's a lot of diversity there. And then it just, you know, it's just this huge swath of land with so much diversity and so many different income levels and needs. But actually, the needs, I think, are the same for each. I think all of our needs are the same. I think we all want the same thing. We want safety. We want green spaces. I know we all do. We want open spaces. We want libraries and schools, good schools, all that stuff. So we all have the same needs. It's just, like you said, bringing all of us together. And I think it's just a matter of effort, again, walking the neighborhood, knocking on doors, and also going into the businesses on Greenpoint Avenue and elsewhere in the district, and like places I'd never been before, just because there are like so many. But I was like, wow, this is incredible what they're offering here. Like, it's incredible. So I just think it's a matter of effort and desire. And I would like to reach out and bring us all together, and then we can show that we have commonalities, and work together on bringing all of this together for all of us. So I think it's just showing, playing up what we have in common. That's what I think I would do for sure.
Oh, definitely. So just two more questions. When Court Square in Long Island City was first envisioned, it was supposed to be this commercial area, this extension of Midtown East. However, a lot of the developments end up being large residential high rises, right? Today, Court Square is being positioned as more of a mixed use neighborhood. And there are some commercial developments like the Jax, a large office building, and the new Bio Life Science Tower. What are your perspectives on diversifying the building mixes for commercial businesses, specifically within Court Square, Ellen, if applicable, with what government tools, policies, or incentives?
Okay, yeah. Yes, I would definitely, and there's going to be, there's a lot of empty office space, and I know that, a lot of companies aren't going to go back. So I would like to see some conversion, maybe some breaking. I would like to see the city, if they can, like purchase some buildings, if not, do some conversions and then purchase maybe, or incentivize companies that own those buildings to break up their spaces. And I'd like to see more small businesses, actually. I think that we can do, I'd like to pass a Small Business Job Survival Act first thing, which would give a 10-year lease to tenants. And so you have a 10-year lease and you can actually plan for things. If you have, right now, a lot of tenants don't even have a month, or they're month to month, they don't even have a lease. So they're month to month. So, and they can't plan for the future. They can't, maybe expand. Why would you do that? Because knowing that you're going to be kicked out in 6 months or whatever. So I think we have to plan long-term and pass the Small Business Job Survival Act, which would, like I said, give a 10-year lease to tenants. And then when it's time to renew a lease, it would, the landlords would be stopped from, doubling the rent, tripling the rent, or whatever. It would give them, the businesses, access to arbitration, things like that. So I think that's a good bill that I would pass for sure right off the bat. I would also like to see, I like to leverage, we have all these huge corporations, Google's here, Amazon's here, like these very wealthy companies. I would like to see them help pay for our infrastructure. They're on our streets all the time. I think that they should have to help fund, give some money for that. And also all the garbage, all the packaging and things like that. So I think there's ways that we could leverage these huge corporation, multi-million, billion-dollar companies, multi-billion dollars. Anyway, so so I would leverage that. I just want to focus on small business. And also I would like to see some manufacturing in some of these places. We have in Sunset Park, they're talking about doing like solar panels, building solar panels, and other renewables, like wind turbines, things like that. So I'd like to see some manufacturing. I think we should just really look at all those spaces and diversify. Companies talk about diversifying their portfolios. We should do the same. We don't want to be all in just one industry. So I think we should have the good mix of that. So.
Okay, perfect. And so the last question is, and I know this question was asked to you in March, was yeah, the question is, who would you be your number 2 ranked choice vote in this city council district? Which in March at the time you said it was Jonathan Bailey. I don't know if he's still your number 2 choice choice vote. And then the bonus question is, who would be your ranked choice vote for the next mayor of New York City?
Okay. Yeah, Jonathan is still my second, my second, yeah, choice. Mayor, oof, that's hard. I haven't really, and it sounds like a cop out, but I really haven't decided. I'm not really crazy about that many of them, or, so, yeah, I
Okay,
really honestly haven't decided yet.
okay, no problem.
So,
Thank you so
so
much.
thank you, Frank.